And now we're live. What's up, everybody? Everybody that was bitching that I didn't have a background. Well, there you go. That's my, this isn't even my living room. This is just like the, the den of my palatial estate. So there you go. You didn't like looking at my wall? There you go. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday night as we have another snowstorm coming. What the? Steve Gallo, my producer, is with me tonight. What the fuck? Another snowstorm, 4 to 6 inches. They're calling for. Actually, let's do this now before we get to it. Who do you normally go to for news? Their
Twitter.
Who you do? So you're not. Oh, it's giving me an ad.
With Norwegian,
Take a look at the ad.
wake up to a new city nearly every day.
I even had this thing exactly put where I needed to go for the
Free
forecast.
specialty dining and more. Experience.
So I'll watch Good Day Philadelphia
really
with Mike
really
Jarek
quickly.
and crew. Alex
I can't
Holly.
watch the news, man.
Well, listen, I used to go on Good Day a lot, and frankly, if it wasn't like an hour drive, I'd probably still go on there now. When I worked for WIP, they wouldn't allow it. So I could only work.
Okay.
I could only go CBS 3 because they were our partner, and then it was NBC
Right.
10, and then they never wanted me on NBC 10, so I was like, all right, so I can't do any TV. You're telling me. So once I got done, I did go on Fox a couple times, but anyway, well, here's Cecily Tynan with the forecast here, and I'm very unhappy with this snow.
Lingering
Let's take a
snow
look.
showers in the afternoon. So the expected snowfall amounts, we've really increased these since yesterday. The heart of our viewing area, most of the Delaware
right in the middle
Valley,
of it.
we're looking at
never
4 to
like
6
this.
inches of that light, fluffy snow. The Poconos with the skiers, not going to be in the jackpot zone, but still looking at 2 to 4, and that continues across coastal New
All
Jersey.
right, so we got. I mean, you're looking at it like, even when they exaggerate it, right? Like, still, like you can tell. I can kind of cut through the bullshit and see what's actually going to happen, and that because you always have that stupid rain snow line, and then the I-95 corridor. So it's like, well, if you're east of the I-95 corridor, it's going to be mostly rain, but if you're west and north. So I'm going to look like, it looks like if as the forecast goes, I saw this yesterday and they were talking about like an inch or two. And I'm like, thank God. I don't need to, like, dude, listen, I'll probably go sledding tomorrow because everything's going to be overnight. I think by 6 a.m. it's going to be all gone. I don't need to be out there shoveling again, man. Or actually, I put the snowblower in the shed because I thought we were over with the snow and I was dragging it out and back into my garage right before I came on here. So I'm all snowed out, man. I don't know about you.
Yeah, mine's tucked into my garage at all times in winter. So I think it goes back to our shop garage in summer. But
Yeah,
I, mean,
I
I, don't know. I love snow, but it's just like at this point in life, it's just like, all right, one snowstorm that isn't 2 feet of snow. Great,
and we're
After
great.
that,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
good. I'm
Well,
good. Want
we're-
to see it, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's supposed to be the light, fluffy variety of the snow. Because that
If
last
it's gonna
storm.
snow, I want snowball snow. I want
that was last
I want
storm.
to peg a kid with a snowball.
Wet, heavy snow, but then it clogs up the snowblower and it makes it difficult. This is supposed to be light, fluffy snow. A lot of times, if it's light, fluffy snow, I'll just do the shovel. But I got the driveway, so what I do is I put both cars at the end of the driveway, like right on top of each other. So then I can come right out of the garage, and 3/4 of the driveway I can do easily with the
It's
snowblower.
done.
Right, and then I can move the cars up, and boom.
With the house that you're in right now, your driveway's got to be ginormous. It's got to take you hours.
I mean, listen, look at that. That's just the den of my house. You should see the driveway. I have to get in my
You got to
pickup
get
truck.
charged a lot of. You got to get charged a lot of money for any time someone comes to help you with the length of that driveway.
I have no doubt about it. No, I have the pickup truck, and I have the front of it. I have the plow on it.
The plow.
Yeah. So I just take it on. But anyway, so snow's coming tonight. Not happy about it, but it'll be done by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then it's supposed to be sunny all day. It's supposed to be windy, but it's gonna be sunny all day. Dude, I'm going sledding. That's the one thing I do like is if I can go sledding. And here's the other reason why I'm not totally like hating snow right now. I don't have a job. Because the prior 2 storms, it was still snowing during the day to where all I could think of was like, oh my God, right now I'd be digging the car out and having to get on the road and drive 2 highways all the way into the city just to be able to go to work and then come home and then have to reshovel everything else out. So I'm extremely happy that I don't have to deal with work. But then again, I don't have a job, so got to get one of those kind of soon. All right, so tonight, Steve, we're gonna have. I talked about this. We talked about this on Wednesday night. That one of my comfort things about being on the radio, and one of the things that I love about the radio that I miss right now, is being able to talk to callers. Right? There's something about giving out a phone number and people being able to dial in and speak with you. I've talked to people that were calling from payphones and mental institutions. I've talked to people in prison that were calling from I don't even know if like a cell phone or something. So it's like I've talked to people all over the world. So I miss the regular callers. I miss the callers of WIP. So I said the other night, I'm like, well, why can't we just have people that want to come on and kind of say whatever they want to say? We can very easily send them the link, and then they can jump on kind of like a phone call to sports radio. But tonight, we're going to have two of my favorite WIP callers join the show. And I'll bring on one for a couple minutes, and then I'll bring on the other at the same time, and then we'll wrap it up. And I will say this, that they're both very popular, and not many people, I haven't heard almost anybody say that they don't like these two. So they're joining us. Going to hang tight. That's called a tease. That's a major market tease. That's why I have this house right here. Because that's a major market radio tease. That keeps people along for the ride, Steve. So there you go. So that's coming up here. We'll get to them in like 5-10 minutes. There we go. Yeah, Arthur, do you know Arthur? You remember Arthur, don't you?
Yeah.
Is this the one right here? No, not. So Arthur, who is the convict. Yeah, he was. Everybody thought that he was Arthur from The Joint. Everybody thought that he was. It's like, that's a shtick, or this is a character, or whatever. No, I actually met Arthur, and Arthur is as criminal as you think he is. And I like Arthur, but he is a drunk, and he is a degenerate gambler. The first time I met him was when I worked at 9:50 a.m. Before it went FM. It was even before it became 9:50 ESPN. I was working a morning show with Glenn Foley and Michael Bradley. Love those guys. And he called us because he got Angelo banned him for some reason. So he couldn't call in the Angelo anymore. We're going back to like 2007 here. And
could only imagine.
Yeah, so we got him in studio, and he came in. He came in right from either a casino or a poker game. He was hammered. And he drove right in the studio. I'm like, dude, you can't be just 7 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing? And he was hammered. But like Arthur's a good dude. Actually trying to pull up, other than that and being a degenerate gambler. So he's been in Arizona the last couple years. But like once, like in the East Coast or whatever, like he was constantly getting in trouble and going to prison or whatever. But in Arizona where he was living, I guess, like once they figured out who he was and he kept getting in trouble, then they were just looking for him to do stuff. So I haven't heard from him for a while. Is Arthur dead? No, I think he's back in prison. Last I talked to Howard about it, he was back in prison. So
I love that you guys have like social conversations about callers and their lives.
For sure. No, my most successful shows that I've done here on YouTube have been when we've talked about callers. People love the inside radio stuff. I haven't talked to Herb in a while. Should I text message Herb to see how he is?
We got to get him a tripod. We got to get him a tripod before we get him back on.
But don't we like the fact that he's just laying lifelessly?
I'm sure he will provide with some entertainment with the tripod anyway.
Yeah, well, you can go deliver that to him.
Yeah, okay. Sign me up.
You can take it over his house. So there you go. Also later on coming up, there's we'll have a recap of a date. Steve was on a date last night, a second date. If I'm correct.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. And I haven't asked. I said I'm going to ask you about it on the air, so you can say whatever you want to. You can decide if you want to share a lot of details or show no details. I will respect you all the same. But
that's nice of you. Appreciate that.
But that's coming. I won't demand that you do it. And we have we have our callers that are here, the famous WIP callers, and I mean, frankly. Let's bring. We're gonna bring the first guy on, And this guy right here is, and I've had a number of people reaching out in recent shows saying, got to get him on, got to get him on, got to get him on. I love him, I love him, I love him. Joining the show right now is Yoshi from Brewery Town. Yoshi!
Stop, you got me blushing. What's up, my main man, John?
What are you doing?
I'm chilling. I was up here talking to my wife, what's name, tripping with her. Then I was like, oh, snap. I was like, it's 9:08. Let me get up in this joint real quick.
Now, have you been celebrating Friday night here, Yosh?
Man, what's that? I've been celebrating that I'm still up at nine something at night.
So that's why I didn't ask you earlier in the week, because you're up early for work, right? You start
I get up
early.
At 3 o'clock. What's that?
Right.
Got to work out before I go to the job and everything. So, but when my homie that I love like crazy hit me up out the blue and say, "Hey, we on and popping," I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna stay up. I ain't popping my melatonin, what's the name, or nothing tonight. What's the name? I'm trying to rock and roll a little bit."
So hang on a second. You work out before you go to work? So you work out at home?
At home. I got everything here. I got my punching bag, I got my weights, my bench.
So you get up at 3. How long do you work out for?
Well, I get up at 3 o'clock. I let my, I work all my kinks out. I'm a 49-year-old man come May.
Uh-oh.
No, Yoshi.
I think he's back. Oh, is he muted here?
Your sound's
no.
not there, buddy.
All right. Well, Yosh, hang on a second. Maybe we can somehow send him a message. We can't hear you. Yeah, we can't hear you. What the hell happened?
Let's see if we got him.
All right, let's try. Yosh, can you hear us? Because we lost your audio there, pal.
Nope.
Oh my goodness. Oh my, man. All right, maybe we can drop him and get him to dial back in. So I'm being told that Chuck called in today and spoke with Jack and Ike, and I'm going to guess that he was apologetic and say he was wrong for it, because that's what happened with Chuck and me before. But so I guess Chuck called in today. We'll have to get an update on what people have to say about that. All right, Yosh, if we can't hear you, you might have to just drop and then come back on. And we cannot hear you. What the hell happened?
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen. Yeah, people are asking about Bernie from Broomall. Bernie from Broomall, he passed away like I don't know, maybe like a year ago or so. So yeah, Bernie had a good run there, but Bernie has passed away. All right, well, listen. All right, here he is. Yoshi.
My fault, man. My mom called me, what's the name, and I pressed the wrong button. My wife was like, she was like, just leave and what's the name and go back in. You'll pop back up.
Right. And you did it. All right. So listen, I have another all-star caller that is waiting to come on the program right now. But I have to ask you before that, how did you, because I haven't listened to WIP for no, that's not true. I listened to Jack and Ike one of the days this week when I was waiting in the car line at school. I listened to them for a good 10 or 15 minutes. But overall, so I haven't heard you. How are you handling the end of this Eagles season, Yoshi? Because I know you'll punch through TVs. You have your punching bag and weights right in front of the TV when you watch the game. So did your TV survive?
Yeah, hey man, I just bought a new big screen, what's the name, because I had to upgrade, and my wife, she ain't letting that pop off. If I break this TV, I'm gonna be mad at myself. When you spend a little bit more than $1,000, what's the name, you gotta say, hey.
Hold on a second. Steve and I were just talking about this the other night. We were talking about TVs, and we're like, yeah, I'm like, I just buy the $500 one. I don't need to spend. So you actually spent the extra money for the better picture. Wow.
Yeah, because I got like the whole new entertainment set stand and all this different stuff to go with it. So I'm calculating all of that. The TV part was like $7 something. What's the name? You add the stand, and then what's the name? I got like these little lights that go around the thing that I could change it. If I'm watching, I make it red. If I'm watching the Eagles, it's green. If I'm watching the Sixers, I just don't turn it on right now. You know what I mean?
All right. So, but how did you handle the end of the season there?
I was furious. I was blaming, I was calling the radio blaming everybody. I was blaming the coaches. I was blaming Jalen. I'm still a supporter and everything. But I feel as though like he got in a little bag. What's his name? Looked like he had an attitude and was pouting. That was upsetting. I couldn't believe what's his name. You had 2022, but then in 2023, you did look like you regressed. I think the coaches they were doing things at the wrong time. No situational awareness, when to call a run play, when to pass it. Then you find out the ad lib. I was upset. You go from 10-1 to 11-6. I didn't care about what's his name. Oh, we played this tough game back. Then 5 days later, we played this tough game. I didn't want to hear that because they looked incompetent. The defense looked dumb. Like everybody looked remedial to me. What's his name out there? It's like, where did y'all go? And it looked like nobody was holding anybody accountable. Like everybody became a child to sorts to me. Everybody was, just not doing nothing. It just, I was upset. I didn't want to talk football. I wasn't wearing no hats. I was ashamed. I was ashamed. I was wearing regular stuff.
Here's what I worry about.
My team, I still was rocking and rolling, but I was ashamed to just flat out throw my hat on.
Yeah, I mean, as much as it sucked, but like now what? Now everything's gonna be all right because they brought in Kellen Moore, and I like Kellen Moore, but like I give Jalen, and Jalen regressed. I don't care what OG. We had OG Wade on the other night. He hasn't regressed. He's fine, best quarterback, but like he's got to be better in the pocket throwing the football. He has no pocket awareness. He doesn't step up in the pocket. He's ready to leave the pocket the minute he senses pressure. I mean, he just doesn't. That was a big reason why the offense struggled as much as it did. But those coaches sucked.
They did.
Those coaches.
Jalen should have been better. Like he was running. He was leaving the pocket so fast. It didn't make any sense. And then like he just didn't look himself even when he took off running. Jalen last year, we saw him dip his shoulder. Just cradling up. It's like he forgot how to play his game.
Even when he stayed in the pocket, he had no confidence throwing the ball.
None
because he was so worried about the rush and everything else.
He was. I totally agree with you. Jalen took 10 steps back to me. But the thing is, I do feel like I said earlier on the radio, he took a step back. But one thing we do know about him as far as his track record, since you've known him in college, since he's been in the NFL, with the exception of this year, he does always get better. And if he really does have that Jalen chip on his shoulder to prove to everybody, that I haven't lost it. And if Kellen Moore could come in and help him out, and if everything stop being so disorganized within the organization, I believe he could take a step, back to where he needs to be. I'm not saying that he's going to win MVP or anything like that, but if you could come back and have some stability with who you are, I think he'll be all right.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm much less worried about Jalen Hurts as I am the head coach and the talent they now have on the team. That defense. Sidney Brown going down, tearing his ACL like he did. He looked really, really good towards the end of the season.
He did.
That interception return he had, I didn't know he had that kind of speed, man. He just took the hell off.
Bro, we kept telling you. You know what made Sidney look bad when he first got on the field? It was playing him at slot. He wasn't slot corner. And then when they start progressing him back to the safety, that's when we start seeing Sidney Brown from Illinois.
Yep.
And then, and he looked promising. And then to tear that ACL, I was like, oh my goodness, the boy was just coming along, man.
Yep. All right. Well, and yo, say hi to my producer Steve Gallo. Steve was my intern back at the other station. And I was trying to get him hired not only at the other station, but at WIP. And I don't know why I couldn't get him hired. He must have really fucked up during the interview process or something. I don't know why he didn't get to, I tried. Normally when a host says, hire this guy, I love him. He's awesome. They hire him, but for whatever reason, Steve couldn't get in the door. What the hell happened, Steve?
See, we got to be
I have two theories.
Find out the true story.
Yeah.
I got two theories. One, they really disliked you, which I think is the one that it is. And
No.
2, they were jealous of my hair. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, Steve was he was
It gotta be the hair. Everybody loved Johnny Marks, baby.
Yeah, and Spike was one of the people, right? Like the other guy, the reason he didn't get hired at the Fanatic was because of Eric Camille, who was the assistant program director, didn't like me. And Steve was my guy. Steve used to come in at 4:00 in the morning when I worked mornings, and he would set it the whole show up with me. And they're like, no, he's coming in too early. He can't go, it's too early to come in. So he held that against Steve. So I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Early?
Like this, yep. He's coming in too early. Yep, he's not allowed to come in early. He has to come in at 6 o'clock.
Can't be in early when paid people aren't there.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yeah, nah,
okay.
I don't trust that.
No, it's because Steve was. By the way, Jack was also my guy, and Jack didn't get hired because of the same guy. You think about that. Jack Fritz, who's now the afternoon host on WIP, they wouldn't hire him as a low level. Like, we're talking about the bottom job at a radio station, essentially.
Dang, this guy, what's his name, really didn't like you, Johnny.
He did not know. That's all right. His career's totally ruined now. So
you want me to go find him? You know what I
no,
mean?
it's okay. No, we're okay. We're fine. We're fine. Well, Yosh, listen, you have a very high Q rating when it comes to WIP and being a caller. Everybody loves you. Not a lot of reason not to love you. Chuck, all right, people. Chuck has their distractors. Not distractors. But Andy from Deptford, obviously. By the way, Andy's like begging to come on the show. He'll come on the chat here and be like, get me up, get me up. But Justin in Tennessee, everybody loves. Just like Yoshi in Brewery Town. Justin, what's happening, feller?
Wait a minute,
What's happening, fellas? How y'all doing?
Let me get this out real quick. Justin,
Yes, sir.
I love you, boy. I just wanted to tell you real quick. You my main man. I love you, man.
Hey, man, I love you too, man. You're awesome. I wish we could have met up at Chickies that day, man. That was one of the best days ever.
I was a little under the weather. I ain't want to come
Wow.
down there and mess nobody up.
I understand. John knows, man. John was there. I was overwhelmed at the amount of people that just kept coming up to me and introducing themselves to me and talking to me. That was crazy. I never expected that.
So for people that don't know the backstory, Justin is from Tennessee and has been an Eagle fan. Was it because of Randall or no? It was because of Reggie.
Reggie and Randall.
Reggie and Randall became an Eagle fan down in Tennessee, and through what is amazing now, because I don't even know what you would do even 10 years ago, was able to find WIP and talk Eagles and everything by listening on the Odyssey app. Became one of our more famous callers for calling in. You can tell he's very lovable. So he came up. Who was it that gave you the tickets, Justin?
James Hatcher.
James is a great guy, a great listener, a great fan, a great friend. So he said, hey, I'm not going to be able to go to the game. Why don't you come up with your son? So Justin, go ahead.
Actually, he gave us a choice. He gave us like 4 different games to pick from. It wasn't just that one game. He said, here's these games right here, and if none of those work, we'll work something else out. And what worked out best was that game, was the Bills game for us.
And that was the Sunday after Thanksgiving?
Yep, it was Sunday after Thanksgiving.
So you get the Bills game, which is, Steve, if you remember that game.
Yeah,
but it was the end of the year too, really.
Yep.
You saw
the last good game of the year.
Yeah, Justin took all the mojo back to Tennessee with him.
I know, no shit, right?
So Justin comes up. He comes up with his wife and his son Owen, and his wife. There's no ticket for her, so she's fine watching the game at the hotel or whatever. Not watching the game at the hotel, probably.
Yeah.
So Justin comes to our Chickies broadcast on Monday, the day after the game, and Elliot put out a tweet about it, and he wasn't like, this wasn't a tweet to get likes or retweets or whatever. It was true. It's one of the more memorable moments of my radio career is seeing somebody that no one has met before, that has never even been to Pennsylvania before, but through the power of WIP and our listeners had become family to a lot of people. I think you see this a lot on Twitter and social media where people really become friendly and it's a way for them to engage each other and get to know each other. Dude, I'm just telling you, we could have had an Eagle player there. Justin drew a crowd of listeners more than an Eagle player would have had. See, people were just literally, I had people that just kind of stopped in and said, I can't stay. I just wanted to meet Justin.
Right.
It was It was unbelievable. It's really the power of WIP in that show, Justin. And like that day, I just remember watching, being like, this is one of the more amazing things that I've seen in radio in my career.
Well, that's like when you signed off, the day you signed off from WIP, I was so emotional because I told you then if it wouldn't have been for calling your guys' show all these years, like it's been years, man. I mean, I started calling probably after the Super Bowl sometime. It took up a lot of nerve because I mean, you know me, man. I'm just old country boy, and I didn't know how I would be accepted calling up there. I figured people might say I was a fake, fraud, phony bandwagon fan or something like that. And if it wasn't for that, this would have never happened. It never would have happened. I seen the Eagles play in Nashville one time. Me and my wife Amanda went down and watched them play. Vic was injured and Kevin Cobb played. They had a 17-point lead in the third quarter and wound up losing. And that was a long 4-hour drive home, boys. It's a 4-hour drive for me from here to Nashville, and that sucked. I'm telling you right now. But I mean, it was
Lost a 5-minute drive feel like a 4-hour drive.
yeah, you ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. But that's why I was so emotional that day because I mean, I look at you, Ike and Jack. Man, y'all accepted me in, treated me good, and if it wasn't for you guys and your show, because James, the guy that gave me the tickets, he listens to WIP, but he told me he mainly listened to Marks and Reese. And that's how he heard my story because you guys were all time aggravating. When are you going to get up here? When are you going to get up here? Well, it's expensive, traveling from Tennessee and not counting the tickets and hotel and stuff. And everything just fell into place. Like, I got a great deal on a hotel. We stayed, Rittenhouse Square. Is that it? Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
And,
spot.
I mean, we had a nice hotel there. It was insane. And I just couldn't have asked for a better trip. And I don't know. I had some people giving me shit on Twitter about where I got emotional when I called in and gave you a send off. Man, I love you. When I don't just float that around willy nilly. When I tell somebody
Get the
I love
names
them,
to
I
Yoshi.
mean it.
We'll get them after him.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I just kind of ignored that, but I mean, I meant it. I mean every word I said. And when people came up to me at Chickies that day, they were wanting to meet me. I would literally point to James, the man that gave us the tickets. I said, if it weren't for this man right here, I wouldn't be here. So you guys need to thank this man just as much as I have. Thank him, show him some love too, because if it weren't for him, I wouldn't have been there.
That's an awesome story.
Well, Justin, it is. It's amazing the power of the show that has brought us all here together.
Yeah.
And we could bring up some other callers as well, I guess, if we wanted to, and we probably will. But you two guys, right? Like I have my top caller list, and like I'll put Chuck at 1 or Wade at 1 or whatever. You two guys are my favorite callers. As far as guys that I personally like and have a connection with. So
Thank you.
That's why I wanted to bring you both on tonight to kind of. Because listen, there's no phone calls, Yosh. I can't take phone calls, so this is even better because I can see you now.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Dude, Yoshi's jacked.
Oh yeah.
Poor old
Dude,
man.
he's jacked.
No man.
He's even he's even in better shape in person. I bet you.
Hey man, I'm trying. I got a 6'3", 230-pound son that's got me into lifting weights and stuff. He's like, Dad, we're gonna increase your lifespan. It's gonna be better for you the way you work. What's name? You're gonna eat a little different, and once you start doing this, then you can go back to eating a mess, but you won't do it as much. He was like, and Mama always gonna love how you look. So, hey man, I love it, and I appreciate that. Y'all got a black man blushing up here.
All right. So how much you putting up on the bench? People want to know.
Well, I live by myself, and I don't have a spotter. So the most I've gotten off the bench when I bench, I've put up 325 3 times.
What, by yourself with no spotter?
Holy shit.
My wife is coming in the room when I put it back, and she'll say, I can't help you. But I don't put the clips on, so
but she can call 911 or she can call a neighbor to come over and help.
It be in me, but I only do that once a month. I test my strength once a month. I usually don't do no more than like 65, 70
I'm
pounds.
just impressed you have 305 pounds in weights
No,
to put up there.
it was 325.
325.
Oh,
325. You can't tell I'm short, man.
325.
Did you say for 3? 325 for 3?
325 for 3, baby.
Oh well, I feel
Lord.
scrawny.
Well, there you go. Well, he is jacked up. Well, listen, gentlemen,
All natural too. All natural.
Yes,
not
sir.
even
Love it.
creatine or
Oh no, I do a little creatine.
Creatine.
That's not. I do creatine.
All
Cause
right.
I want to make sure I stay fit. You know, I do a little creatine. Drink my gallon and a half of water a day. What's the name? You know, I go to the bathroom.
Yes, sir.
I'm an old man and drinking a gallon and a half of water a day. They be looking at me like,
Do you wear a diaper sometimes?
Hey,
Got the calendar locked in, baby.
I'll drive from one store to the next. I gotta pee. Go from that store to the next. I gotta pee. They pull over. Let me get in the back. What's the name? I gotta use.
So you're like
Gatorade
me.
bottle.
I've done this bit before. I know like where the good bathrooms are and the good bathrooms aren't. You know what I mean? Like I know that Starbucks is always a clean.
Always
Clean, always it's going to be available. No one's going to give you any looks when you go in, boom. If you want to get a coffee, fine. Wawa bathrooms are the worst. And I was just actually I was just in a brand new Wawa today, and instead of having a men's and a women's room, they have just you close the door behind you. It's a single one for men or women. And the bathroom was it was brand, but it was also nice. It wasn't disgusting. Someone took a dump in the urinal at the Wawa in was it Vineland? It was down there. And so here's what happened. There's one stall, and someone was taking a dump in the stall. This guy must have came rushing in the bathroom, having to take a dump, and couldn't hold it. He's going to shit his pants, shit on the floor, or shit in the urinal. So we crossed paths, and it was awkward, and he just went by me. And then I go over the urinal, and you see the steaming pile of shit in the urinal.
Oh man, and
True story.
The underbelly of it is getting some water, so it really was probably steaming.
It was. God. No, for sure. I was like, oh my God.
I would have had a fit, yo. I would have had a fit.
I tell you what, Target's got some pretty clean bathrooms too.
Target's a good bathroom.
Target's a good bathroom.
Yep.
It is a good bathroom.
Right, give us your power rankings on good bathrooms, guys.
Starbucks is one for me.
I don't go to Starbucks. I'm not.
Well, you Winn-Dixie, right?
Starbucks. If you traveling out of town and you stop at a Love's,
Loves are good.
They're pretty.
Oh
good.
Man, I know y'all ain't got them up there yet. Buc-ee's. Like those truck stops, they're down here and they're huge, man. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it. And they have
it's
these
like
signs.
A Walmart, right?
Yeah, it's huge, dude. They got freaking clothes. They sell high-end Maui Jim sunglasses and shit like that.
Is that the one with name in the bathrooms? They had. Does it look like a safari in there?
No. It's nice, dude. They've got signs up that says "Potty like a rock star," shit like that.
What's the place out in where the Amish are?
Sheets?
No, Shady Maples.
Turkey Hill? I don't even know if they have it.
You ever been to Shady Maples?
No.
Shady Maples they have a guy in there waiting for you when you come in the bathroom.
They have an
Their
attendant?
bathrooms are exquisite.
Ah.
They got that
I
at
will
Chickies
sit
and
on
Pete's.
the toilet
Yes.
without it. That's how nice their toilets are.
Now, are there lot lizards down at this truck stop that you're talking about? No,
I'm not kidding, dude. This is a high-end truck. Ain't no lot lizards crawling around. Not what I've seen. I've just been there during the day. And
I'm just checking.
But no, man, they've got barbecue sandwiches and stuff, and they're making. Man. Dude, I ain't kidding. It's some of the better brisket sandwiches I've ever had. God, they're good. Now, I mean, it's insane how big these places are. It's just crazy. There's one 45 minutes from here now, over toward Sevierville, where you would go to Dollywood. I hate that place. I hate amusement parks too, though. My God.
Me too.
I could see Yoshi at Dollywood, an all-day pass.
Oh my God, man! They dress up with those
really?
dresses and shit like that. Some of them do. Oh God, and then they get on that train. they get on that train. There's a train that goes through the mountains. And used to, I ain't been over there in years, but used to, they'd have like shootouts with cowboys and Indians and shit. It was pretty hilarious. Some of my buddies when we were in high school, they jumped off and tried to attack the Indians one time and got kicked out.
All right, so guys, Yoshi, who is your favorite caller to call in? And you can't say Justin because he's here. When you're listening, who do you like to listen to?
Actually, I'm not going to say it because he's here. Justin is actually my favorite caller. When I wake up in the morning, I put a lot of stories and stuff up on Instagram or whatever I put up. Justin likes all of my stuff. And it makes me so warm when I see that dude with the is that you, Justin, with that Tennessee hat on that picture?
That's Bill Murray, man.
Oh yeah. I finally spread it out the other day.
It's Bill Murray wearing a Tennessee hat.
When I see that every morning, like, and like Justin, if I say I love you, like I'm generally, I'm a God-fearing man, so I love,
yes,
like I love, and so I'm like Justin. When I say it, I mean it. And I started saying I love you to you all when I would get off because I was like, Justin is comfortable enough to say it. I'm comfortable enough to say it. And so Justin really is my favorite call. I think Justin comes on around about 5:50, 5:45.
Because he works late. Yep.
yeah.
I get happy because he like I got my family from the South. So it's like listening to one of my cousins or something like that. And I really like when he said I love you guys and I mean it, I feel it. So Justin really is my favorite caller. It's no, like the kids say, it's no cap. It's not because he's up here. Like I see this man as soon as I go on social media in the morning. He like just what is it, Vol?
J Vol.
Yep. It's one of the first things I see in my phone. So he's already imprinted on me early in the morning before I do everything I got to do. And so I love when I finally hear him in the evening before the station goes off. So yeah, Justin, and I really was hurt that I was sick when he came up because I wanted to hug him. Yeah. Like I really love this guy. And then outside of Justin, I don't really have no favorite caller, but I love guys like Rios. I love Chuck. I talk to them outside of the station and stuff like that. Yeah, me too. You know, so I love those type of guys. But far as my favorite caller is Justin because it's like it's genuine, and I love genuine.
He is genuine.
And he always shouts me out. He'll say something like, "I can't follow Yoshi," or "Yeah, I'm not as brazen as Yoshi is," and so. Sometimes I gotta hit him on Instagram like I love you, man. Right, Jess? Like I love Justin. That's my guy, man. And I'm just like him. Far as like he said, like I was so sad to find out you were leaving. Like I was like, dang it, because I told my wife, I was like, when I started coming to Chicky and Pete's and stuff like that, the first person that welcomed me, the first person I would see would be you. You would come and lead me to where I need to be. You always say, I don't care about being a top caller, but you will always say, Yoshi's one of my favorite callers. Yoshi's in my top 5. And I love the other.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
Someone called him again.
Mama called him again.
Oh, no, we lost an audio again.
And then it mutes him. You got to do the same thing. Boot him out there, Steve.
Oh, he's got it.
Well, we're wrapping it up anyway here with this feller. Well, Justin, listen, what's so a lot of people have been given Jack crap for the last couple weeks or whatever, and they've been messaging me, and I always respond back and say, just leave him alone, all right? Just leave him alone. This is what you're just hearing him. You're hearing him talk more now. And you're complaining to me about what he's saying, so you're listening. So he's doing his job. So just leave him alone. So
my fault.
Oh, you're all good.
My brother from Japan is calling me. I mean, from Thailand is calling me.
Thailand?
Yeah, I'm supposed to go. I committed to going to Japan. Later on this year. So he's been bugging me ever since. We're meeting halfway. He lives in Thailand, but if I meet him in Japan, that's like meeting him midway. So he keep calling, making sure I'm doing everything I need to do, and keep telling me about, well, if you fly Air Japan, it's going to be this cheap. Well, if you go to New York and leave from there, or you can stop in LA, it'll be cheap. So I just had to text him like, "Yo, not right now. I'm chilling."
I'm popping off over here.
Japan.
Wow.
Justin, my Insta gonna be lit when I pop up in Tokyo, baby.
Show enough.
I'm gonna go over there and fake like I play football.
It's not a bad idea. Running back.
You should get you an Eagles jersey.
Coffee commercial.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like,
You play American football? Yes.
That Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, my name's Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
No, I ain't gonna be Jalen West now. I'm gonna be somebody else. Got to name somebody I don't know.
Show us them arms. You can be Dawkins, man. Show us them arms.
Man.
Sheldon Brown. Whoop. There you go. Yeah,
I'm gonna be Sidney Brown. I'm gonna get a wig. I'm gonna be Sidney Brown.
Do you guys remember when Vince Young was here? There was a guy that looked like Vince Young, but like 30 pounds heavier, 30, 40 pounds heavier, but he looked like Vince Young, and he would do the hook 'em horns when he was out. As you can see, my but he used to hang out in Manayunk, and he would try to get tail by saying he was Vince Young. And if you Googled Vince Young, you wouldn't know it wasn't him. I knew it wasn't him. He's like 240 pounds. It's like, and he was a little chubby, and it's like, dude, you're not Vince Young. Vince Young, big dude, but he's not fat like you. You know, this dude was more like 260, not 240. 260. But it worked because he used to go. I knew people that worked in bars in Manayunk, and he used to go in. And he would just hang out on like a Thursday night. He would buy drinks and shit. And girls would talk to him. Oh, it's Vince Young over there. He's Eagles quarterback. So, yeah, he did. I'm not saying he used it for
people be falling for that, though. That means you really don't know. You really don't know if you're falling for, like, Vince Young was what? 215 pounds?
220.
220?
Yeah.
And then this dude 260, and you say he a little bit chubby? Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
Vince Young's probably 300 now.
Vince is right. It was Mad River was where I
I remember Mad River down on
right on Main Street. Right on Main Street.
I used to go there. I probably walked past that guy. Was like,
he was a regular for at least that season. I don't know. I haven't thought about him since then or whatever.
Well, I probably passed him, but I was at the bar being myself trying to get to.
Well, gentlemen, appreciate it. And Yoshi, you get up if you get up at 3:00 in the morning. I get up at between 5 and 5:30 because that's when the baby normally will wake me up. So if I wasn't doing this, I'd be asleep right now. I don't care if it's a Friday night. So this is the latest I've been up in a long time on a regular basis. So
me too.
I appreciate you hanging.
Hey man, what's that? Like I said earlier, and as you know, I'm not scared to say, I love you. You my dude. And all those times that I threatened guys, and I told you if you get security, I was there. I meant it. Don't mess with my homies. So,
my man.
Hey, I wasn't gonna miss it, man. I told you since you first hit me, I've been waiting. All
right. Well, there he is, Yoshi from Brewery Town, and Justin. Yoshi, love you. Justin,
love you.
Yes,
love you, fella, and me.
Nice to meet you, Steve. Love you, Jess.
Nice to meet
Love
you,
you guys.
Steve. Yosh, you know I love you, bud.
baby.
John, it was a pleasure, man. I appreciate you having me on. Anytime you need me, man, I'm here.
Me
I've
too.
told you that. I've told you that. Anything you need, if I can do it at all, brother, I'll within my power, I'll do it, man.
All right.
Too. And I'll come on the show only on the weekends, though.
Exactly. You don't got to get up for work tomorrow.
Friday
want
night
me-
segment.
If you want me through the week, I usually don't go to bed till about 10:30 or 11. No way. I mean, I get up at 5:30. But anyway, I appreciate it, boys. Nice to meet you, Steve. Johnny Marks.
Nice to
I
meet you,
love you,
Justin.
buddy. I mean it.
All right, Justin. Appreciate it. Yosh, see you, buddy.
All right, baby.
I'll talk to you. There's Yoshi. All right. Well, there you go. We have.
I could listen to that Southern drawl any day of the week, baby.
He's so good.
Dude, that is like crystal perfect, like Southern drawl.
Dude, I'm telling you, I've done like when you do quote unquote like events or appearances for businesses, right? Like, and I literally wouldn't do these if they were offered to me because they're all exactly the same. Car dealerships. So you go to a car dealership on a Saturday, and the car dealership's being like, "Oh, Johnny Marks from blah 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 is going to be here," and they're expecting people lining up around the block, and meanwhile nobody shows up because it's Saturday at like 2:00.
Dude,
Or
those
the people
promo
that do
jobs were the worst.
right, yeah, you know this from the promo
Yep.
from the promo job. So like 2 or 3 people will show up, and you don't want to talk to any of them because they're awkward or like, like sometimes you get people to come out and like they're cool, but a lot of times you're getting people and they'll leave. So you're there the whole 2 hours that you're there. They don't like, if you come and say, hey, what's up, blah, 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 stay for a little bit, then you leave. No, they're like breathing down your neck for 2 straight hours. Yep. But anyway, like I'm telling you, there had to be like 100 people that came in just to meet Justin. Like literally at Chiggy's and Pete's. And if that would have been me coming to Chiggy's and Pete's, nobody would have showed up. That's my point. The power of radio sometimes, man. And that's why I'm a little bit sad because I feel like maybe
that's how we get them. That's how we get them back. We got to get someone to, fund it.
Right.
Pay him to be.
Oh no, dude. He was talking and I forgot about it, but it was something I was thinking during it was if I was a business owner and I'm like, all right, well, what would it cost for you to drive up here? I'll get the hotel and the tickets or whatever. He would do it, and then we have like a Friday night happy hour, or we have a Saturday night event. Yep. I know a lot of people would show up. So, I mean, maybe that's what we need to do.
Yoshi would get the whole army there for him.
That's what we need to do. We need to bring Justin up, and then we'll sell it, right?
There we go.
It's like what I want to do with Herb, but I'm worried about the liability of it. You a Howard Stern listener, Steve? Let's know.
When I was a kid, I was.
Do you know who Beetlejuice is?
No.
All right, so you're not. So Beetlejuice is this little dwarf. And like, just Google Beetlejuice videos, Howard Stern, and you'll just laugh. He is, but there was a guy that was like the manager of all of Howard Stern's Whack Pack. So Beetlejuice, Hank the Drunken Dwarf, all the Whack Pack. So he would book them events. They would do dwarf like bowling, where they paid Beetlejuice $500 and they got them on, and they're bowling them down the lane at something, or they're doing bachelor parties and stuff like that. So I had the idea with Herb. I bought the domain bookherb.com, and then people could book Herb for assorted jobs because he's a driver. He's a limo driver. That's like, I guess, what his trade is. So you could get him to drive you for a night. He could drive you around, or you could go party with Herb. But then I thought about it like, all right, then I'll get sued when something goes down.
Yeah, he's too much of a wild card, I would say.
Right. Yeah, I don't trust him. Who knows? Anyway, so there you go. That was the fellers right there. All right, what do we got?
That was awesome. We could do that. We should have them on a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, so how about so the question of Andy from Deptford now comes up. Because once he hears that, because OG Wade, when I reach out to OG Wade's like, man, I didn't think you wanted to have me on. And I'm like, well, no, I gotta I had you on relatively soon into doing this. It wasn't 6 months. Right. But yeah, so now Andy's gonna be like, I gotta come on. Is this real Angry Al? Is this my Angry Al right here? I gotta get Angry Al on. Do you remember Angry Al, Steve?
Yep. Yeah, I remember you maybe produced a Christmas album for him. I wanted to stab a pencil into my ear.
Was he doing Christmas songs? Why do I not remember this?
I don't know. It was terrible.
No Andy.
I mean, we can always get Andy in, and if he starts pissing us off, we can just be like, say it.
Well, I think it's a no-brainer. The more people say no to Andy, the more I want to put Andy on. Yeah, because people aren't going to not watch it. Corey from Columbus. Corey, listen, brother. You know I love you. Corey would be... See, here's what I'm saying to everybody. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching it on YouTube or Twitter later. John Marks Media at gmail.com. Where do I have it right here? Here it is. John Marks Media at gmail.com. It's just like taking phone calls. You want to come on? I have an idea for next week, Steve. It's called... I wrote it down on my... actually, I may have it here. What's Your Take Tuesday? It sounds so cheesy. Right. So like that's a way to come on, and someone comes on, like Corey from Columbus comes on and says that Jalen Hurts is going to be the MVP next year, and the Eagles are going back to the top of the NFC. Or, like, what's your take? So come on and make your take. Or whatever. I don't care. So yeah, reach out to me. JohnMarksMedia@gmail.com. I'd love to have Angry Al on. Angry Al is one of my my most, maybe my most loyal listener. Angry Al. Not been around the longest, because Len from Swedesboro, New Jersey, I would say, or Jay from Willow Grove, who is now a friend of mine, and one of them, the other one's my insurance dealer, just from calling in the radio shows. But Angry Al's been there for a while. So I'm saying, Al, I will bring you on. All you need is a phone. You don't even need a computer or anything like that. We'll send you a link. There you go. All right, so a couple things here, Steve. Let's go to. All right, so I thought this was weird. Let's do the Dana White thing. So Howie Mandel, everybody has a podcast these days, right? Every celebrity, every C-list celebrity, every D-list celebrity, TV shows. Right, exactly. Well, I don't really consider it. I consider this more of an extension of local radio. But Boy Meets World, I think the cast, they'll do each show. They'll have they watch this episode and then they do a show on it, something like that, right? Because why not? What are the actors and actresses from Boy Meets World doing these days, right? I'm sure they can carve out an hour or two a week to try to make money on the podcast. It's actually a really good idea. But Howie Mandel has a podcast. And why you would listen to Howie Mandel on a podcast, unless you're 70 years old and you like America's Got Talent or something. I mean, I don't know how, Howie Mandel. Was the last time you cared about Howie Mandel? Never. I know he's successful and rich and all that stuff. I don't care. Who's listening to his podcast? I don't know. But Dana White of the UFC was on there. And I don't know why. I tried to find out why this happened, and no one really seems to know. So this is Dana White on Howie Mandel's podcast, and it's going to start with him introducing Dana White. Let's get to it there, Steve.
White, you are an amazing guy. I can't thank you enough for being here. You and Ginger seem to be getting along.
Why is that cat?
You are not only an amazing businessman, you are an inspiration. You are a philosopher. The way you do business, the way you conduct your business and your friendships and media is I'm jealous. But Dana, I can't thank you enough for being here.
Thank you for all the kind words. I appreciate it. I am so fucking tired of doing podcasts. I'm literally done with them. I'm not doing any more podcasts.
And that's it.
So look at the reactions. All right, so you're seeing a lot of, well, it was obviously staged to get publicity for Howie Mandel's podcast. Well, no one's going to listen to the podcast in 2 weeks because that happened. Maybe they want to hear what he says about it, but that's not going to make their podcast sustainable or profitable or whatever. It's not going to do anything for it. He looks like a fucking idiot, Howie Mandel. So here's my read on it. And I know somebody that used to be that worked closely with him. So I know somebody that worked closely with him. And everything about Dane is authentic, and that is totally not something he would do for publicity. What does he care?
He doesn't
Howie
need it.
Mandel. It doesn't do anything for him. It makes him look like a dick, if nothing else. But he must have I don't know if he was promoting something or how he got there, but if you look at that scene, so you got Howie Mandel, who the fuck is that look that he has? There's a cat in the background behind him, which is fucking weird. And he's sitting on the couch next to this guy and bring it up so we can see it again. I mean, look at whoever this dude is that's sitting next to him. That guy. I'm sure he's perfectly fine, but he's also got little shorts on, you see at the end of the video. And if you look at their reaction, so I just think he's sitting there and he's thinking in real time, what the fuck am I doing here with these clowns? And he just left. Yeah. And he couldn't do it. And he couldn't fake. Because when they go on podcasts like this, these aren't short. This isn't a 10 or a 15-minute radio interview. Who the hell knows what he's going to try to talk about it with? I mean, he probably was just I'm not fucking doing this. So he was out. And I'll blame him.
I don't see how those two correlate together anyway. What is Howie with Mandel talking about UFC or whatever? I guess they were going to get into business or something, but.
Yeah, or he was going to be like, so you grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, or actually he's from the New England area. So you grew up so who were you a fan? And he probably he just looked like he didn't listen. Dana White's had some personal issues, and you know what I mean. Like he's a fucking intense guy, and I think he took one look at what he was about to get himself into, and he was out. So it's a comedian named Ginger Billy, according to Justin in Tennessee. I'm a lot of people are saying that. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Ginger Billy.
Yeah, I like Dana White said it's no deal.
Deal or no deal? Yeah, which by the way, like I never watched that show. America's Got Talent, I have no interest in. I don't have any interest.
Talent's interesting.
I'm not saying it isn't. It's been on for a long time and it's popular. But like that's not I barely watch any TV at all. And I certainly don't have, like, if I'm going to commit an hour to something every week, or I guess like 46 minutes when you take out the commercials. I like Doran Boswell. I've seen it. When Howard Stern was
I usually watch like the cool highlights like after the fact. Like, all right, like I'll watch the 4-minute clip and that was it. Like,
right.
Just the act or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it crazy? Because I most of my consumption of media is through short clips or like not watching anything live on regular TV.
Yep.
I just watch what's appropriate. Yeah. So fuck Howie Mandel. You know, it was a dick move by Dana, but I respect him for being like, you know what? I can't even try to fake this, because guess what? Guess what that podcast sounds like if he tries to fake his way through 25 minutes. It sounds terrible, and you're gonna know that he wants nothing to do with it. So yeah, I know Howie Mandel's a major germaphobe. I think he actually plays it up because everybody says he's a germaphobe.
Well, it's not even like that big deal. He's like, he already said he's like not even that big deal anymore to him. Like he doesn't he used to wear gloves and stuff like all the time.
Yep. No, I know. And then for his act, he would wear gloves and he would blow the glove up at the end of the show and then like throw it like out into the audience. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't believe I believe it's a lot of it's a bit.
Yeah.
No, which one I was looking? Yeah, I still do watch Cops. There are new episodes of Cops that are being distributed on Fox Business. And if you want to subscribe to the Fox Nation app, and it's $5.99 for a month, you can get all the new episodes. There's like 3 or 4 seasons that are just sitting there waiting to be released. But if you pay the money, you can go on the app and you can watch them now, which I did not do. I will wait for the slow roll. They put out 1 or 2. They'll put out 1 or 2, and then they'll go and they'll put out like 6 of them within a day. And these are brand new episodes. But I'll watch the repeats. I'll go on YouTube and watch some old episodes of Cops. Yep.
Yeah, I've never been a Cops guy.
Oh, it's the best. Is Howard Stern the greatest interview of all time? I personally don't care because I'm bored with his interviews. I like the prime whack pack days of Howard Stern, and he's been doing all these interviews recently more because he just wants to burn the show because the show sucks. And he's still the best of all time, and I go back and I watch his stuff or whatever. But like paying for it right now is no way. And how he's become friends with everybody and like Rosie O'Donnell or whatever. Like the best. I prefer to remember the Howard Stern that I grew up listening to. But Richard Christie, who was a producer on the Howard Stern show. That's why like when I said this show sucks, I'm like, I don't really want to say it. So he lives in my neighborhood. He lives in the area. Because his wife is from the area, and his wife's a huge WIP listener. So I don't know her personally, but we've corresponded in email because she's heard me talk about Howard before. She's like, hey, by the way, I'm a big time listener, and Richard Christie's my husband. I'm like, no shit. So I would actually like to give him on the show.
That would be cool.
Yeah. All right, there you go. So that's Dana White. So how do we wrap that one up? Because there's been nothing since he hasn't addressed it, or no one really knows exactly what happened.
I don't see how that could be fake. I just don't like. It's just weird. It's just an odd circumstance. He probably got forced to do it by an agent or something like that, and you're just like, this isn't it.
And
like
he's sitting there realizing during the beginning, like, I can't fucking do this, and he left.
Like, there's no way Howie Mandel is Dana White's cup of tea.
No way. No, that's the best point of what anybody said. It's just like, it's a terrible match for Dana White. Like, it's so true. Dana White's like, Howie Mandel's like, I respect you so much. He'd probably be like, fuck you.
It would have been great if he just got up, pulled his pants out. I was like, here, just kiss my ass instead.
Better interviewer, Missinelli or Cataldi? Cataldi, for sure. Angelo was, and I'm not saying Mike wasn't close, but Angelo would be able, from my perspective, I think one of my weaknesses is depending on the interview. I don't like to do a lot of interviews, and if I'm not interested, it sounds like I'm not interested, right? Angelo, whoever he brought in, it would be like, oh, guy's the biggest, the best Eagles writer. They'd bring in like some charity person, and it would feel important. But he also would be, he could get in and out of an interview in 8 minutes, and you want all the information that you want, and then you're out, and he gets you out. And that's very difficult to do. So I would definitely say Angelo on that one. All right, so we have that. All right, so we also have this one here. And this was, I didn't even see this. But so let's go to it's Brad Pitt. Where is Brad Pitt? Is this some kind of an awards thing, or?
I think it's like, I don't even know either. It looks like he's doing like a thing after an awards.
So he's at a podium, right?
Or something.
He's at a podium,
like a celebration dinner or something,
and he's talking to the crowd or whatever. And he brings up Bradley Cooper and the Eagles. Here's Brad Pitt.
Just a matter of time. And truly, Bradley's okay. He's fine. He's used to it. He's a Philadelphia Eagles fan. That's fucked up.
So he is a Chiefs fan?
Apparently.
Yeah, so he takes a shot. But I think he's because when you Google it, it says it brings up all the soccer teams because it's who is he a big the Chiefs. He's such a big Chiefs fan. He rocked the team hat at the SAG Awards in 2020. I thought he was a Chiefs fan, so that's why he said it. And screw you, Brad Pitt.
Yeah, he's from Oklahoma. I guess that's kind of.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's better than the Cowboys, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So
I never would have pegged him for being from Oklahoma, though.
So did you buy the Bradley Cooper when Howard Stern asked him and said, what would you rather have, an Oscar or another Super Bowl? Yeah, because they do have a Super Bowl already. They got one, and they went back to another one.
I feel like I want to say I believe him because, I think I would do anything for a Flyers Stanley Cup. So, I like that. If he's that big of a fan, but at the same time, it's you get to go down as the best in your field. I don't know. And
you just listen. I know it's 6 years ago now? 6 years ago now, but still, it's still semi-fresh.
That feels like yesterday to me.
It's still semi-fresh. I agree. Yeah. And they went back last year, and even with losing the Super Bowl last year, it still felt like shit. They didn't get to the Super Bowl and lose 41-10. They should have fucking won the game, and it stings, but still, it was we had a good team. So anyway, all right, well, whatever. All right, so you were out last night. Steve Gallo, my producer, was on a second date last night, and this is app dating. And
it is app dating.
Not available. I guess everything is. Shouldn't I just assume that most people are app dating right now?
Yeah, I would assume. Yeah, definitely. I don't know anyone that's single that doesn't. I don't know anyone that's single that doesn't have it, but some take it way more seriously than others. I have a buddy that's went through 6 girlfriends that he's all met on dating apps. So,
right, because they want to. That's what they want.
Yeah, he also can't be single, so he just
jumping from one relationship to the next.
Yeah, and I don't think he's ever actually dumped anyone. I think they've all dumped him, which is actually kind of impressive. But he's getting married this year, so it's cool.
Oh, congratulations! There you go. What are you giving the speech at the wedding?
No, I'm not in it. His bachelor party's coming up in a month or so, though. We're going up to the mountains to watch college basketball. It's his first weekend of the tournament.
All right, who out there in comment land Met their wife on a social media, or not social media, a dating app or social media. But dating app, I can think of off the top of my head a number of people that were Bumble or one of those apps.
There's a decent amount of couples in my friend group that are all met off of dating apps.
All right, so I'll look eHarmony. See, I have a friend that didn't tell anybody that they met on Match because it was before the apps became
The stigma
big.
was gone.
Yeah, you had to spend a day and a half filling out the questionnaire. Like the eHarmony, it's like, we want to match you with the right person who wants to get married. And these apps sort of just seems like casually date a lot of people. I don't know. All right, anyway, so how did the date go?
Date went very well. We went out in media. We went to a brick oven place. It was BYO. She got a couple bottles of wine. We were out for like 5 hours ish.
Uh-oh.
Got home. Yeah, it's a good time. We had a really good time.
All right, so it sounds like a third date may happen.
I am definitely looking forward to a third date for sure.
So the second date definitely set up the third date, you're telling me.
Yeah, I think so. I think we don't have anything on the books yet. She's working this weekend, so we'll.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. But
now
I think I'll be seeing her soon.
Now, is she how much younger is she than you?
She's older than me.
No.
She's a couple years older than me.
Oh, a couple years older than you. Yeah. Now, is that something you were searching for, a more mature woman?
No, it's not that I was searching for it, but like I like that. Like I like that she has her life together and she's not like not that's screwing around like with other people, but like she's got her shit together. And I think that's awesome. And it's like I don't want to like have to like baby somebody. I want someone who's independent and can take care of themselves. And so I would much rather do that than date a 25-year-old.
Oh, it seems like that maybe you're looking for a relationship based on the way you're talking.
Oh yeah, I'm over being like the single life is kind of like boring for me at this point. It's just like it's too much work. It's too much work.
You get to a point where you're like, like nah, all right, I've done this long.
No, I'm like if I go out with my friends, I'm out with my friends now. It's like if I start talking to someone, I talk to someone, but I'm not searching for it by any means. But I'm excited about this one. So
all right, well there you go. Now,
she's a huge sports fan. She's an Eagles season ticket holder, so we got a lot of stuff in common.
Eagles season ticket holder. That she would be disqualified if it was me. I don't deal with
that.
I don't need to be having debates with my girlfriend or wife about sports. Liz knows football. She knows enough about sports. She's not clueless with sports. She knows plenty, but like she doesn't really care. She's not watching every Eagles game. She doesn't, she's not paying attention to it. Which is exactly what I want.
I think sports are a big part of my life, so I think it'd be cool to have someone that also has that kind of interest.
A lot of people say that. I just want her to tolerate the sports. I don't really need a co-pilot with sports.
My ex used to hate when I would watch like the Masters. I'm like, it's the Masters. It's on once a year. Like, give me that weekend.
Yeah, I would hate that too.
I would hate that too. It's one weekend. I just want to watch.
All right.
It's over like 3 hours.
All right. Well, so listen. Next week, I'm sure. I'll look forward to hearing. Now, has there been texting going on since?
Yeah, we've been talking.
Yeah, some texting. Is there flirtatious texts going on?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy.
No.
We're having fun.
All right, good. Well, there you go. Congratulations. Now, what's the other one I had here? Okay, so let me bring this up. Maybe we'll wrap it up with this because we're already over an hour. Yeah, I don't even know how to get. All right, so it's not going to work. All right, so I'm just going to actually Google it right now. Cigarettes stolen, Wawa, Delaware. And it should bring me up to. So I saw this story and I'm like, holy crap. So, and you'll look at the suspects, and it's actually sad because I mean it's got meth written all over it. You know what I mean? Like you can just tell that. So these three right here. This was the guy that was doing it, and then these two were driving the getaway car. Look at it. She's the same age as the middle girl. So this one right here, she obviously hasn't been involved in drugs as long as that one right there because they're about the same age. But so what they did the guy ran into a Wawa and with a ski mask on and just like got behind the counter and just grabbed as many cartons of cigarettes as he could in a bag and ran out and into a car, and then they took off. They did two or three Wawas within like 2 hours in Delaware, and they obviously got caught. It wouldn't be hard to find. The Wawas have cameras all over the place and people all over the place. But they say, yeah, they're in this kind of a car, and someone got a license plate, and the camera's got a license. So obviously they were on the lam very long. They got caught within an hour or two. But I mean,
did that say how much money in cigarettes that they stole?
I didn't see it in.
I thought I saw a number at the top. That's why I asked.
No. So it says that troopers responded to a Wawa for a report of shoplifting. Short time later, troopers responded to another Wawa for another report of shoplifting. Both of the shopliftings were reported as an unknown masked black male who jumped behind the sales counter, grabbed cigarettes from the display, and ran out of the business without rendering payment. They jumped into a gray Chrysler 200 with a Delaware registration and occupied by two unknown white females. There they are. So there's a couple of these. So I was thinking, like, how much is a carton of cigarettes these days? Because if you get back there and you get like 30 cartons of cigarettes, that's a big lick that you have right there.
They're probably like...
so they're
like
nine.
They're probably like $110 if I had to guess.
So in Delaware's the home of tax-free shopping. I think cigarettes are cheaper down there. But a pack of Newport, no, it wasn't Newports. I don't, can they sell Newports anymore? But outside a gas station I saw today, it said $9.40, which seemed low to me, honestly.
That actually does sound low. When I quit smoking like 6 years ago, and it was like $9 a pack then. So
maybe this was like an old.
There was an old sign, the leftover sign.
Well, it says right here that it's $11.96 in New York. So it's possible it was $9 in Willow Grove when it went there today. But anyway, I mean, geez. The only thing that makes you do this is drugs. Right? Like I was talking about how I watch Cops or whatever, and I do. And you like to see the people, and they're like, the guy's riding on a bike, like a kid's bike. And it's 10 o'clock at night. And they're like, oh, we're going to pull this guy over. He doesn't have any headlights or lights on his bike. He's wearing a backpack. You know what's in the backpack. Drug paraphernalia and meth.
Yep.
Always. So, I mean, these fucking people. Like, the one girl's 39 years old. She looks like she's 60. It's unbelievable. Anyway. Delco, were you smoking new...
Nah, I was never a menthol guy.
No?
Nah,
what kind of cigarettes do you smoke?
I used to smoke Marlboro 27s was my go-to.
What's that?
And they came out like when I was like while I was smoking. They're relatively new. It's like it was a branding for the 27 Club. It's like probably should have been your first clue to quit smoking, but
right. Well, there you go.
But my buddy still smokes a little bit. Like if I like meet up with him, like I'll have a cig like with him once in a while. And I'm like, these are just terrible. How the hell did we do this like all the time back in the day?
Well, people used to smoke. When I was in high school, I swear to God, 50% of the kids smoked. And that sounds crazy to say right now, but I'm telling you, so many people smoked.
My high school, the year before my freshman year, had a smoking section out back.
Yeah. Well, we had an unofficial one. But so
did we. So did we after the fact.
We had at the Willow Grove Mall. When I worked there in high school, there was a smoking section. There was actually a non-smoking section. No, I guess there was a smoking section. But imagine at the mall, in the food court of the mall, they had a smoking section for cigarettes.
Yeah.
You'll smell weed before you smell cigarettes these days. A lot of times.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah. I have a few friends that still smoke, and that's about it. It's very dwindling at this point.
I could go for a smoke right now, honestly. A nice big drag of a
Newport? Or you had to be a Newport guy.
I was menthol. No, I was Marlboro menthol.
Okay.
I smoked Newport. I would smoke Newports if they didn't have Marlboro menthol. But no,
dude, there's so much fiberglass there's so much fiberglass in a Newport. You're lucky you make it through one of them things.
Yeah, luckily I haven't smoked in 24 years. Sometime in the year 2000s when I quit it. It was before September 11th, but it was like mid 2000s the last time I smoked a cigarette. Yeah. So the key was just to never smoke and never take another drag, and you'll never take another drag. And right,
Yeah,
literally,
I definitely don't miss them. But you get those moments though.
no, I literally could smoke a cigarette right now, and I would probably feel sick.
Honestly, I'll say this: if cigarettes didn't make you smell like complete garbage, I would probably still smoke them. Like that was the thing. It was just like, oh, you come home and it's like you don't notice it, and then you take your jacket off and you smell your jacket, and it's like, oh, that's
well, unless you're dating a smoker, they don't want to date you, so you're limiting your pool.
Oh, dude, I used to walk around with a tin of mints at all times. I was have a cigarette for like 3 minutes. And then, like, oh, dude, I brush my teeth more smoking cigarettes than anything.
Steve, I would have to say that's accurate. I totally see you smoking Parliaments. And you know where he'd be? You'd be at the Brew Mall. You'd be at the Brew Mall Wawa because you just came from Barnaby's in Havertown. You went to the Brew Mall Wawa and you're crushing a shorty.
It's not like far off, but yeah, it's kind of close. That kind of checks. Back in the day.
All right. I guess that's a weekend, man. So what are you doing this weekend? Anything good?
I'm gonna be shoveling and snow blowing tomorrow, probably for most of the day, if it gets pretty bad. Flyers got the outdoor game tomorrow night at MetLife, so I'll be watching that with my boys.
Oh, the Stadium Series.
Yeah, we got some sweet New Jerseys to debut tomorrow.
No, they do.
So, yeah, they're mostly white with a couple like orange, black like stripes across the top.
All right.
I saw a lot of hate for them, but I dig them. I feel like I like every jersey that everybody hates. So, and vice
because you're a positive guy. You're very sports positive. You're not sports negative, like some of us.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I would like anytime someone loves a jersey, I'm like, all right, like I could take it or leave it. But then when everyone hates it, I'm like, I want to rock that. Like, give me that. But yeah, so we'll probably be over at our little dive that we go to watch that tomorrow night. But that's about it. That's all I got going on.
Sean from Pine Hill's going to the game tomorrow. There you go. Nice. He's a Giant fan.
This is my first outdoor game that I'm missing.
Is it? What, in person? You've been to all the other ones?
Yep.
Wow.
My parents surprised me my senior year with the trip to Boston for the original one at Fenway. Yep.
That must have been pretty cool.
Fenway was cool as hell, man. That was I got to get back there for a baseball game, but it was really cool for a hockey game. But
it's a novelty because it's a novelty because the stadium sucks. It's cool where it is. Like the whole area is cool. The whole experience is cool. The actual stadium blows.
And dude, the corridors are like so tiny. You couldn't walk like you and I could. We're not big dudes. We couldn't walk shoulder to shoulder through some of those corridors.
The seats are the sight lines are bad. The seats are like facing the wrong way. There's a lot of where you're like, oh, there's that beam. If I look around the beam, maybe I can see the field. Right? There's obstructed view seats or whatever. I don't like. Fenway's great. I'm just saying as far as. Like, have you been to Wrigley?
I was just about to say, my friends and I did Wrigley for Labor Day weekend last year. We went to a Cubs game. We
just sit in the bleachers.
No, we didn't sit in the bleachers because we actually wanted to like see inside the stadium, and so we got. It was funny as hell. We got last row seats. We split the pole, got seats in between the poles, worked out. We ended up sitting in a row. The 6 guys to the left of us are all from Philly. Like they came in for the weekend. I was like, how did we buy tickets with 6 other guys from Philly at the same time? But we met a bartender the night before. He hooked us up. Like he got us into the VIP bar that's like field level. Just gave us wristbands, and we went down there and we drank for free from like the 4th inning on. Free food. It was great.
It's the best. I went out. It was the Memorial Day before COVID. And it was I know Labor Day was last year, and it was Memorial Day when we went out, because I actually came back to work that Friday, so it was the week before. I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because then I flew in Friday morning and I went to Farley Plaza where we do our Memorial Day show for Chigs and Pete's at Farley Plaza. But it was, and I've been to Wrigley, but I haven't seen the Phillies play at Wrigley, and I've been to Chicago a lot. I'm a big fan of Chicago. But
I definitely want to go back.
Oh, and Wrigleyville's unbelievable, but the city's great.
we had so much fun in Wrigleyville. Like we had too much fun in Wrigleyville.
We VR verboed it, and it was my uncle, my dad, and my dad's brother, my other uncle, he's older than my dad. But so I wasn't there with like a bunch of like young dudes or younger dudes. We still had fun, but we got a like a 3-bedroom condo in walking distance, like probably 10-minute walk in Wrigleyville. And it wasn't expensive at all. And we literally we walked out. We were on the same street as the stadium. We just walked up. But I can't say it enough as far as if you want to take a sports trip, go out to a Cubs game, but sit in the bleachers for a day game.
I want to go to like the ones that are like up on the rooftop. Like on aren't in the stadium.
Well, no, see, you can do that too, but I'm telling you, as far as it was one of the best sports experiences I've ever had. So the night game, we got in, we saw a night game. I paid big bucks for like being five rows off the field, and they were good seats. Don't get me wrong. Phillies lost that game, and then it was the following day was the bleacher seats. It was like the 700 level, but Midwest style. They weren't fucking with us. They were fighting each other. It was unbelievable. I had so much fun. People were so cool. But then there was these drunk dudes or kids that were fighting or falling asleep. It was one of the best sports experiences I've ever had. So much fun. So anyway.
Yeah, Wrigley was definitely up there. I could go back to Wrigley.
Yeah. All right. Well, Steve, listen, I'll be sledding tomorrow. Hopefully, none of my children get injured or anything like that.
Would you be sledding if you didn't have children? That's what I was thinking.
No,
because you seem like you actually love sledding.
I do. Well, once I get there, I would not go by myself, but yes, I do. And it's kind of dangerous. It's a good hill, but if a parent needs to be down at the bottom, otherwise you go right into a fence because it's at their school. And when I say go into a fence, I'm talking about like they look like crash test dummies in the old commercials, flying into this fence.
Right.
And it's a metal fence, so no one really got injured. But the first time they went down, I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're going to be urgent care. Like I can't have this. So yeah, so I'll be sledding.
I'll have to find it for next week. But I have a picture of me from high school. We had a snow day, and we all got trashed and went sledding in Springfield. And my buddy convinced me and another guy to do some stupid shit on a sled. Ends up where I went flying off a ramp and face planted into just ice, and I just screwed up the whole side of my face. And then he proceeds to take a picture of me and send it to my mom. That was just, yeah. It was
Delco sledding with Steve Gallo. All right, well, listen. Enjoy your weekend, man. I'll talk to you next week.
You too, my man.
All right, everybody, subscribe. ShopEveryLittleDetail.com is your website for all your apparel needs. ShopEveryLittleDetail.com. We will talk to you next week. Everybody have a good weekend.